Hello again. So a lot of you out there have rightfully pointed out that almost all of the game reviews I've done so far have been on the Xbox 360. I have done a couple of iPhone game reviews as well, but I haven't really touched on the PS3. And as I mentioned in a recent video, the reason is there's not that many games on the PS3 that are that compelling for me. That's just changed. Wipeout HD, I decided to give it a go. It's exclusively distributed digitally through the PlayStation Network store. Cost me about $30 Australian, which is about, well, it's less than a third of the cost of a retail shelf game here in Australia. Yeah, we get shafted on that crap. Anyway, so the game looks really, really pretty. So instead of making you watch me while I review it, I'm just going to show you the game and give you the lowdown on what I think about it. Let's go. Calling Wipeout HD for the PlayStation 3 a port of the PSP game Wipeout Pure seems a bit unfair, but that's essentially what it is, though it has been written from its core to take full advantage of what the PS3 has to offer, namely high-definition graphics and Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound. It does inherit its track designs from the PSP game, but also features some tracks from the sequel on the PSP called Wipeout Pulse. Naturally, the game looks awesome, running at a silky smooth 60 frames per second and in 1080p high def, but as good as it looks, it sounds even better, featuring a thumping techno music score that sounds stunning. But it also supports your own custom in-game soundtrack, so if you're not particularly into Kraftwerk or Seven Stitches, you can switch it out for your favourite music from, say, the Chemical Brothers or Rob Zombie, or perhaps Britney Spears if you're feeling especially hardcore. And I've always found that the right kind of music makes games like this feel that much more immersive. Drop a note in the comments section noting what your ideal soundtrack would be for this game. Like most racing games, you have a choice of teams and cars. Here you can choose from up to 12 different teams to race for, each of them having their own unique stable of beautifully rendered vehicles, all featuring slightly different performance, speed, acceleration, handling and toughness balance. The more advanced vehicles, of course, need to be unlocked by winning races. The same goes for the tracks. The more you win, the more tracks become unlocked to race. 8 different tracks in total, and all the tracks can also be played in reverse, essentially doubling your options. Some tracks are fairly straightforward circuits, while others feature fun stuff like gravity-defying loops or shortcuts, and each one is filled with gorgeous detail that really makes the game come to life as they whiz by at insane speeds. The race types are pretty stock standard for just about any racing game, both single event and campaign modes. You've got single race, tournament, time trial, speed lap and zone mode. The last one being a mode in which you simply hurtle around the track at faster and faster speeds, trying to see how long you can survive before you explode from damage by bashing into the walls of the track like some sort of suicidal pinball machine. This mode is also presented in a rather unique way, a kind of a virtual computer simulation, which is a bit meta really, considering that essentially this makes Wipeout HD a racing game that has a simulated racing game mode inside it. But hey, it looks cool and is one of the funnest and most challenging modes to play. Naturally, online mode is present for either single races or 12 race competitions. Voice chat is supported, so you can gloat when you kick ass or complain about your internet connection lag if you lose. The sense of speed is really impressive too. I have no direct experience at travelling at over 500 kilometers an hour, at least outside of commercial airplane, but the game does a pretty good job of convincing me that I'm going pretty bloody quickly. Wipeout HD is also one of those racing games where part of winning includes attempting to utterly destroy your competition, and I mean that literally, not figuratively. At your disposal and available while driving over specially marked power-up pads on the track is a selection of both defensive and offensive weaponry, ranging from shields, temporary autopilot, explosive mines, power sappers, missiles, plasma cannons, machine guns, and a weapon that actually sends a huge deforming wave rippling along the track in front of you to utterly disrupt the bastards who have the gall to be in your rightful place at the head of the race. Lastly, but most importantly, the control system, which really can make or break a game like this. It's near perfect. You've got your basic steering on the D-pad or thumbstick, one button for thrust, one for activating your power-ups and weapons, and the perfectly calibrated analog left and right shoulder triggers for your air brakes, which, with some practice, gives you very accurate and highly responsive control over your flying car of doom as you careen around the track like the devil himself was on your ass and looking for some lovin'. And for the relatively new trophy system on the PlayStation 3, Wipeout HD gives you 38 different trophies to earn, a dozen of which have no description at all, so you don't really know what you do to earn them, which seems kind of pointless to me, as I'm sure anyone curious enough can Google for it and find what they are in a matter of seconds. There are also plans to make downloadable content available in the not too distant future to expand your experience, including new packs of whacked tracks and, of course, more vehicles. Wipeout HD is really one of those games you just can't appreciate fully until you've seen and heard it played in person. Online videos like this one just can't do it justice to how sharp it looks and how smoothly it runs, and especially how good it sounds. And certainly not how well it plays, which, as we all know, is the most important part of a game. It has to play well, and Wipeout HD does play well. It plays very well.
Gold medal awarded.
So there you have it, Wipeout HD, the best reason to have a PSN account at the moment. If you don't have this game yet, go buy it now. It's lots of fun. Catch you next time.